Hello, everyone. I am just getting situated here. I hope that you're joining me live. If I know that I had members and clients and people inside Manifest Miracles that were trying to join live last time, and I'm just going to make sure that I see it streaming on my feed. So that way, okay, good. I see the live. And so where I see it, I'm just going to share where I see it with you in case you're like looking for it or you need to find a way to comment, because I know that last time people were saying that they were commenting but they couldn't see their comments. I read that there's like a workaround with that. So I'm seeing the live feed. I mean, hopefully you found it, but I click on my photo or I click on home and it shows live feed, okay? This is also going to be recorded, so I'm going to go ahead and hit record. I am super excited. I am so excited and just grateful to welcome you to this training to release all limitations that are blocking you, that are keeping you stuck, that are holding you back from your next level of success. And I wanted to do this on a Sunday morning just because it's so relaxed here at my home in Los Angeles. I took a little walk this morning over to a local bakery and everything is just flowing. And I'm in that energy of ease and that energy of abundance, which is the miracle frequency, the authentic frequency that we're really aligning to. So I'm going to pull up my notes here because I wanted to loop back to some of the things that we were talking about on day one and day two. So I'm so excited. I have 10 of you inside the classroom. I have like 15 or 20 that have registered, and then they're trying to find their way into the Skool classroom, which is the private classroom where I'm sharing daily prompts, affirmations, guided meditations, all the goodness for you during this 7-day energetic vortex. It's a 7-day expansion, and it's not like just me creating it, it's all of us creating it together. So it really involves you. If you've already watched day one and day two, then this is going to be perfect timing for you. If you haven't watched day one and day two, I'm going to drop the link in the comments to the Skool classroom so that you can go back and you can watch those too, because I highly recommend, if you can, integrating it into your daily practices, this visioning. So it doesn't have to be the whole video every day, but you want to go back into the vision that you're manifesting and you want to connect to that feeling of it. Like what does everything look like? Like what's the big vision? And then how does it feel? And I talk about the importance of the vision with my clients all the time because we can make changes, we can pivot in our business, but unless we have that big vision that we're really holding that spaciousness for, then often we can get a little bit lost and we can start to feel a little bit off track. So every morning I make a practice. I do this with my manifestation journal, which this is my author's copy this time. If you're one of my clients, you may have received it in the mail. If you're one of my mastermind members, if you're one of the legend members, you will receive it this time in the mail for sure, because I want to make sure that we're linking the spiritual practices with the practical. Okay. And so this really helps us to do that. And the visioning is quite, it's an energetic practice. And so this program is all about combining energetics with the inspiration and the alignment practices. So if you're watching live and you want to leave me a comment, I'm going to just do something daring really quick. I'm going to click on this and I'm going to turn off the volume. Okay, good. If you want to leave me a comment, I love to see your client or your comments live. I heard that if you're on iPhone, there's two little dots. I saw a video about this. If you swipe to the right, you can see the live comments. I can see the live comments right now up in the top right because I'm on a desktop or I'm on a laptop. But if you're on your phone or something watching and you want to leave a comment and you were unable to last time, if you want to say hi to me, if you want to ask questions, this release works really well if you're like actively sharing. If you watch this later, do this. Drop it in the chat, like what you're releasing and what you're purging. Okay. So I'm going to take you through a guided practice here to release all of the limitations, to blow up all of the blocks so that you start to really feel unlimited and you start to embrace your nature, which is naturally unlimited and limitless and abundant and infinite. I almost call this program infinite because that's who we really are. And I decided that infinite is going to be our last live together, but we're super infinite. So, really feeling into that infinite nature of ourselves as beings and as spirits, as souls. And then we're going to go into the release right now. So if you're here watching live, I'm looking at the comments. I can see the live chat. And if you're on your phone, just find those two dots, swipe right. And that's how you'll be able to do the live chat, because I know people were trying to do that and trying to access that last time. So first, let's check in with how we're feeling today, what's already happened in our day so far. I would love it if you would get just really, really present to your own energy. Like my little dog just came and sat next to me when I said that. Get really, really present to your own energy so that we can tune into that miracle frequency. I am going to light an incense as we do this release. And look, I went a little wild with the incense. I'm just going to show you. These are my favorite brand. This is like literally my favorite brand, Urban Earth. They sell it at this garden that I go to, rose, lavender, jasmine. So I really like getting into the florals for that abundance. So if you have some beautiful flowers around your house, as we energetically attune to that abundance frequency, you can do like a nice soft floral scent. A good one for getting really grounded is cedar or sandalwood. So I went with the cedar this time because I'm like obsessed with the sandalwood. I buy it every time. So I went with the cedar. I'm going to do cedar today. This is a bamboo incense that burns clean, which is really nice. So it doesn't, give a lot of toxic, you know, it's a very thin stick. So it doesn't create a lot of smoke is what I'm trying to say. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and we're going to just really, really ground with the cedar. So just if you're Claire, if you can actually smell things when people mention them, you might actually smell the scent of the cedar trees, the scent of a pine forest, maybe a big majestic oak tree, visualizing, close your eyes, taking a deep breath in through your nose, getting really tuned into the present moment, maybe even earthing, putting your feet really connected to the earth, getting in tune with the earth frequency, your natural frequency. And if you have wood floors like we do, we have oak floors. I love to put my bare feet on the oak floors to really ground into that earthy frequency. And really, when you release today, you can send all of the blocks and all of the limits down through your feet, down into the earth, breathing in now, inhaling, smelling that earthy nature like pine trees or a cedar forest or sandalwood, if that resonates, and really just feeling that connection to the earth, coming back to our own frequency, releasing anything that's happened in your day so far. For me, it was my little walk with my dog and my son and my husband over to a bakery, and just releasing that, letting it go and coming into the present moment. The very first step in the process is to call in your higher self into this moment to be with you now. It's like your inner wisdom or that source wisdom or that spiritual wisdom that could connect to like a god or something like that, depending on your belief system. So calling in your higher self, your inner knowing, your all knowingness, and ask spirit or source or your higher self, what is it right now that is keeping me stuck? It is keeping me locked in to existing patterns, holding me back. And just wait for a minute and listen. See what answers are coming. What does your higher self have to share with you today? And don't worry if you don't hear something right away. So, what is holding you back? The second one is like, what is stopping me or like blocking me from gaining momentum toward my vision? You can ask that question and listen for the answer, see what drops in. And the next question is, where is the gap between where I am right now and this miracle vision, this big, big frequency What is keeping me separate, right, from the miracle frequency? Because if we're infinite, we're actually really a part of the miracle frequency. So ask yourself, what is keeping me separate? What is making me feel that I'm separate, right? What's holding me back or stopping me? What's stopping me from investing in myself or putting myself out there or sharing my vision, my leadership, my knowledge, my inspiration with the world? What's keeping me from putting out that or trying this new thing that I really, really want to do that sets my heart on fire? Asking yourself now, what is blocking you energetically? Okay. And see what comes in. And so we're just gonna, if you're on live with me, start dropping those into the comments. Start dropping them into the comments or start writing them into your journal as a form of release. Now, I can't do the practice at the same time as you because I already did mine this morning, and that would be really hard for me to facilitate and drop, but like start to acknowledge and do this in the comments so that we can see like what's blocking you, what's holding you back, what messages are you receiving about why you are keeping yourself separate from the flow, the universal flow of abundant energy, right? And that's what we're going to be diving into on our last live together, that universal flow of abundance, of infinite abundance. And I'm going to have you guys in the room with me, hopefully on Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday, whenever I decide to do this live training. So once you've received those messages from your higher self, what are the stories? Now, this is a really big one. And we have to do this work all the time because if we don't do it, then the stories keep coming up and they keep coming back. So what are the stories that you're telling yourself about the past? And usually it's like a story that we like tell ourselves like over and over again about, you know, um, I'm not successful because, or I can't have this because. And it's like, what is that past story that's like coming up? It's like, and the ones I hear a lot is like, um, you know, it didn't work in the past, and so it's not going to work now. Or I didn't have this in the past, or I didn't have this support in the past, or I made this mistake in the past, and so this is what's going to happen now. I'm going to just do it again. So it's like a pattern that starts to keep us locked in. Or another one is around like a big one is around visibility, is like people aren't seeing me, or people don't want what I'm offering. People don't want what I have to offer. Um, I've been told it's too expensive in the past, or that people don't have money, which is really not the truth. Usually they just want to feel confident that what they're investing in with you is what they really want, is something that's going to really help them, because people are investing all the time in different things. So it's usually around your offer clarity, if that one is one that you've heard a lot. People won't pay me for this, so I can't be paid for my gifts. That's another one that we need to release, that we need to let go of. What other stories are keeping you small or keeping you stuck and are holding you back? And I just want you to write them into the comments, write them into the chat, write them into your journal if that feels good. Share what you're comfortable with sharing. Um, People don't hear what I have to say, or people aren't listening, or people aren't paying attention, or I need to know more. I don't know enough. Um, those are ones I hear a lot. I don't deserve to have this much. I don't deserve to have this much, because if I have this much, then somebody else won't have something. Um, Another one is, if I have this, then it creates lack somewhere else. That's another version of that. Or it's not safe. This is a really big one. It's not safe for me to have this, because if I have this, or if I'm shining, or if I'm visible, then my safety is going to be at risk. And if you've never done this kind of work before, I just want to say that I do attempt to do this from like a like a trauma informed perspective, but this is like work on just releasing. So we're keeping it a little bit light today, but if you are comfortable going deeper, you can go deeper. If you feel that it's going to support you to go deeper, we're just going to acknowledge what those limitations are, what those beliefs are, what those suggestions are that can often come from our mind, right? Or our family or our ancestors or our history around what is holding you back. Right. So, what are those stories that you're ready to let go of? Just see what comes in. And like I said, we can keep it light. I do this as a daily practice. So, what are you releasing? People don't want that. I won't find that buyer. I won't find that collector. It's too much. Right. But then think about what you've paid for things. So, okay. All right. So, tuning in now, step 4 of this process. So, step 3 was to acknowledge the stories. And step 4, I want to breathe a nice deep breath in and tune into the universal flow of abundance. I'm going to spray my Om spray, tuning into that. This is by Uni Beauty. If you are interested, I love the smell of this. Tuning into the universal flow of abundance, releasing all limitations. And the code that I have today to share with you regarding this is, am I thinking too small? Where am I limiting myself? So the title of this training was Releasing All Limitations. So I want you to even acknowledge where your own mind is keeping your vision small, where your vision needs to go bigger, where your manifestations need to be more powerful or more potent or even more inspiring to you. Like, are you just envisioning something because you think that that's like what you're supposed to want? Or like, what do you really want to happen? Maybe you want the 50K quarter. Maybe you want the 22K month. Maybe you want the 6-figure year. What do you really, maybe you want the multi 6-figure year? Like, what is it that you really, 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 really want? Maybe you want to go live in, a different country, like off the grid. Like, what, I mean, hopefully you'll still have like access to some things. Okay. So, like, what is it that you really, really want? What does that lifestyle look like? Maybe you want your life to feel like a vacation. When you wake up every single morning, you're just so excited because you've pushed past your fears, right? So breathing into that infinite alignment and that unity consciousness. So we're not separate anymore. So breathing in, inhale through your nose, and just release through your mouth. So allowing those blocks and those stories and those limitations to just completely dissolve. So we're dissolving them now, breathing in again, exhaling through your mouth. You can make it loud. You can make a sound if you want to. So, what are the patterns that you're releasing, and release those and feel those patterns dissolving now? Feeling the gaps dissolving now. I see people are watching now. Give me a little comment if you're with me live, if you can. Feeling the gap between where you are now and where you want to go completely dissolve. So I want you to merge now who you are right now with that big vision, feeling them come together now. So the gap, you're no longer building a bridge. There's no longer a gap. The gap is completely dissolved. And feeling those attachments to the ego dissolve. Often the stories are really related to our ego, what we think we're supposed to have, or what we think something is supposed to happen some way. Feeling those cords of connection that are holding you back. So this could be ancestral contracts, connections that are keeping you in a holding pattern, right? So we command and demand them to clear, release, and dissolve for you now, breathing into that space to completely dissolve those limitations and those blocks. And now just breathe in some spaciousness into the heart space where we planted those seeds of abundance, of abundant vision, of wild success, of unity consciousness, of feeling so connected and so deserving to all of the miracles that we're calling in, that we are just ready to manifest, feeling the joy in the heart space and that spaciousness in the physical body. So creating that space with the breath. So breathing in now to another inhale to the possibilities as we start to play in the quantum. We start to play in the realm of possibility of what could happen or what may happen or what might inspire us. So those are beautiful words to use. What may inspire us, or what is possible to happen, and starting to speak to that excitement and that vision and that possibility, and asking yourself if there are any questions about this process, if there are any questions that are coming up for you now, asking yourself, like, what do you really desire to see happen? And what miracles are you open to happening for you now? So, without you having to go take another training, without you having to go read another book, without you having to go back to college, without you having to do XYZ, like, what miracles are you cultivating space for now without being, I'm a beginner, I don't know how to do this, or I need to figure it out? Those are ones I hear a lot. That happens when we're like really getting caught up in the strategy and we've become very far from ourselves. We've become a little bit like, and this happened to me, so I can totally speak about it. Like, we've become caught up in like all the doing. And so we've shifted out of being. And so, really allowing yourself to just shift back into being, coming back to the heart space, coming back to all of the magic and the miracles that are happening for you now. I'm going to share with you, we can get into that miracle frequency by seeing the proof of possibility, which is what has happened for others in my programs and in my containers. I'm going to share with you 5 wins from my recent mastermind, and it's opening back up. It's going to be open in just a few weeks in May. And so I'd love for you to hop in if you're feeling like you really want good strategy, like strategy that works, but you also want to do it like in alignment with so much inspiration and so much like sparks of excitement and joy. If you're watching live, try to give me a live comment if you can. And I'm going to see if I can see it in just a second. So the miracles that are happening in my programs and with my private clients are like going from, one client like went from stuck and burned out to breaking through the wall to her next level results. So that looked like having new one-on-one clients sign up, new work selling out, and also new people jumping into a group program was something that happened recently for a different client. Another client who is quite good at what she does started playing more with the inspiration and started like selling just like a lot more art from inspiration and from following that inspiration. Another client inside my mastermind channeled actually her new offer. So not caught up in the strategy, not caught up in, what she thinks she's supposed to create, completely channeled a brand new offer and ended up with $20,000 in sales on that brand new offer. Another one of my clients, I had an intuitive download and I shared it with her. And we talked about a new offer that she might create. She was completely stuck, like not in her momentum, not in alignment. And she put out the new offer that was in alignment. And she sold thousands and thousands of dollars worth of packages for her photography packages. And another client attracted more clients and collectors than ever before, and started carving out her freedom lifestyle, which is like really important to me. I think that now we have more opportunities than ever to have a freedom lifestyle and to create ultimate abundance, especially as inspired women in business, than we've ever had before. And we get to share our gifts with others and help to kind of impact the consciousness of the planet. So if that resonates with you, that's a big part of the work that I do. And we get to be in business because it's so much fun. So waking up excited, waking up inspired, waking up like motivated and filled with momentum, because we're not just like glued to our apps all day or sitting at a desk all day. We're actually like embodying that freedom lifestyle that so many creative and spiritual entrepreneurs and healers are really here to embrace now. And last but not least, it's like waking up inspired because they find that joy is on the other side of fear. And so fear, if that came up for you today, if that fear of taking your next action is coming up. I want you to know that it's completely normal. This is a conversation that we have inside the mastermind, which is called Legend, by the way, creating a legendary personal business, personal brand, from your healing gifts, your creative gifts, your visionary gifts, is what we do. But finding that once we push through that fear, right, which is the difference between our intuition, which is our nudge, right, the nudge that we feel inspired that we should be doing something, right, that we want to follow that intuition, right, but then we feel afraid. And so the way to tell the difference, I wanted to share this with you, between intuition and fear, is that fear is often attached to a mental result. So if I do this pop-up show, nobody's going to come. Or if I put out this new offer, nobody's going to sign up for it. And so why bother? Why do it? Why share my gift? Or no, nobody wants, right, what I have to offer. So that fear is a mental story. This is like a mindset thing. And so once we realize, or if I invest in this program, then I'm not going to make any money. I'm not going to have any results. Well, that's the fear that is like stopping us. That is our brain trying to protect us, right? It's telling us the stories. And so our job is to become really aware of these stories and how it works. And then to go back always to our intuition and our excitement in our heart, and like what's inspiring us, and like what feels really fun for us, and what feels really like just easy and in flow. Not to say that nothing is ever hard, right? Sometimes it takes consistency, or you know, what's the word, resilience, to push through, right? Sometimes we have to tune into that too. But what being in a soul business shouldn't look like is being in like perpetual hustle and like burnout, which I've completely experienced when I started to not follow my inspiration and not follow my intuition and my intuitive nudges, which were the things that put me into a six-figure brand and a six-figure business and six-figure success. So following that intuition often looks like tuning in again to the higher self, taking time to meditate, tuning into your higher guidance, your inspiration, what you really want to create, what's lighting up your heart, right? And if we've become out of our heart space, if we've become disconnected, which can often happen when we're too much in the head, or even if we're syncing up energetically to others who are not in their heart space, right? Then that could actually take us out of our heart space and create some blockages if we're not really operating from a place of love. So coming back into the heart space, breathing into the heart space now, breathing in your beautiful vision, opening to miracles happening now, breathing out, dissolving the cords of resistance, anything that feels like resistance. You don't necessarily have to know what it is, but breathe in one more time and exhale any resistance to the flow of abundance that is coming to you now. That's going to be part of our next session together. And if you're a little bit unclear about what that soul offering is that wants to come through, I recommend the download, which is a master course. It's a 1-hour workshop that helps you to channel your new soul offering. I still have more free stuff to offer you in the next couple of days as we continue on this 7-day expansion. But I'd really like to invite you now to start to celebrate your wins. So just as I was celebrating the wins of my clients, the win of when I had my 45K month, what wins are you like really going hard on? And I want you to go hard on the celebration, because that is that miracle frequency, the frequency of joy, the frequency of claiming your what you know you deserve, what you're worth. That frequency is really, and it's also the frequency of peacefulness, of happiness, and of empowerment. And so if you don't mind, share some of the miracles that are already starting to happen for you. Share them in the comments here. And then I'd like to invite you to go inside the Skool classroom, and you're welcome to leave a comment on, day 3, which is releasing limitations. Share, be abundantly, be generous with the group. Share what you're already celebrating, and let's go hard on the wins. Let's go hard on celebration. Let's welcome in the joy. And I just want to say thank you so much for joining me here live today. I'm super excited for our final live, which will be happening in a couple of days. But I'm gonna release it when I see that everyone in the group is like really embracing their vision, they're releasing their blocks, they're calling in the miracles, and that's when I'm going to release our final transmission of this series, which is going to align us to that energy of infinity and being truly abundant and truly infinite. So I hope you enjoyed this, and thanks for hopping on live with me. And I'll see you inside of the Skool classroom